What's going on, guys? And welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where every single week I, Graham Jason Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network. And today we're talking the Rebuilding Big Show special that aired on the WWE Network after Smackville on Saturday. And if you're one of those people like myself that was wondering, why are they doing a special on the Big Show? Why now? Why at all? I'm not exactly sure, but as the title of the show suggests, it does chronicle the in-ring return, the road to recovery for Big Show after he had hip surgery late last year. I thought it was really cool. I had no idea this was airing until earlier on Saturday, but I'm glad they do stuff like this. I mean, they do stuff like this from time to time with people like Triple H right after WrestleMania. They kind of chronicled his road to WrestleMania. His weekend of WrestleMania 35. They did that documentary with Nigel McGuinness. Again, super random, but they did that earlier on this year, and it was amazing. So, stuff like this, I love. It was only about 20 minutes in length, so it's not long whatsoever. But like I said, it does talk about Big Show's initial injury late last year, and talks about what he's been up to in the last 6-7 months since. So we find out at the beginning of the special that Big Show actually had hip surgery back in December of 2018. Which I think I had known about at the time, but I completely forgot about it because, again, he hasn't been on TV since then, since he left TV back in November with the stuff with the bar. So I remember he had an injury and that he had to take time off to deal with something. But yeah, it was hip surgery in December. He actually had surgery, I think on his hip or something else, the year prior, in November of 2017. Remember, he had to take time off after the big steel cage match with Braun Strowman on Raw at the end of 2017, and that was why then that he had to take time off, was because he had to have surgery for something else, either that or on the hip or whatever, and he got a surgical infection, which I guess is pretty normal, according to Big Show, after that surgery in late 2017, so he had to deal with that in the first few months of 2018. He said there was light at the end of the tunnel, despite the fact that things were not looking great at that point. There was light at the end of the tunnel. This was something that could be fixed. But he was really upset when he got hurt last year because he knew that he couldn't do anything physical. He couldn't go back on the road. He couldn't compete. He couldn't even walk. Towards the end, before he had the hip surgery last year, he was having a real tough time even getting around the ring or walking in his own house, traveling, doing the Special Olympics stuff that he does. So he was having a real tough time there for a while. And he even talked about how he was in a lot of pain at Survivor Series. We see clips of Big Show around November, again, when he was doing the stuff with the bar, when they were SmackDown Tag Team Champions feuding with the New Day. We saw a lot of six-man tag team matches between the New Day and the bar and Big Show there for a while in late 2018. And Big Show, I think a big reason for that, and a big reason why he wasn't in action so often, was because, and why they were doing six-man tag team matches, was because they wanted to protect the Big Show because he was hurting at that point, hurting really, really bad. And he praised the bar and the New Day, Cesaro, Sheamus, Big E, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, for going out of their way to protect the guy. And he was saying, if people are wondering, why did you go out there if you were hurting so bad? And we saw clips of Big Show in a six-man tag team match on SmackDown. I think he and the bar beat the New Day. And by that point, he was almost practically immobile. And he says, if people are wondering why I even went out there, it's because I wanted to give closure to the angle. I mean, we have this school thing going right now. I mean, I don't know how cool it was personally, but whatever. Big Show wanted to go out there, do the deed, and put over the bar on his way out. Now, granted, the way the angle ended, it was kind of abrupt, but at least it was closure, if nothing else. He didn't just leave TV out of nowhere. So I like that Big Show is a professional in that respect, where he doesn't want to leave TV without giving closure to the angle of the guys involved. So what they did, I think, was, as I mentioned, I think the bar and Big Show beat the New Day on an episode of SmackDown. Maybe the New Day won, I don't know. And then, right afterward, the bar dumped Big Show in a backstage segment, completely out of nowhere, and now we know why. It's not like he could have gone in there and had a match with the bar to put them over. He couldn't even do that at this point. So at least he did that before leaving. I respect that. So he had a second procedure after having the initial hip surgery in December. He had a second procedure in February, which was followed by a permanent left hip replacement. And he was really upset about having to take time off because he's so used to the nomadic lifestyle that he has in WWE, constantly traveling, always being on the go. And he's been doing that now for 20 years. Big Show celebrated his 20-year anniversary with WWE in February of this year. He debuted in February 1999. And he was wrestling, years before that in WCW. But, Big Show's been doing this a long time. He's so used to always being on the grind, being on the road, And the only real time he took time off from WWE was when he left in, I think, 2006, I want to say, 2007? I think it was late 2006. And then he came back in early 2008. So, on his road to recovery, we see Big Show attending a lot of physical therapy sessions. He praises the trainers for the work that they've done in pushing his body to limits he never thought were possible, that he needs to reach in order to get back into the ring. He also talks about how his hip getting hurt. I don't know if he's talking about late last year, but maybe the first time around or a few years ago, whatever. He said his hip getting hurt was one of the darkest times of his career. And he gets emotional talking about this too, because he thought that this is where the quote from the beginning of the special comes in. He says, "I didn't know if I had enough to get back. I thought when my hip got hurt, that was it. I couldn't walk again. I couldn't compete again. I was done." He didn't know if he'd ever recover. And he started having hip problems originally about 4 years ago, so maybe around 2014, 2015. And he had a lot of anger at the time because, again, he didn't think he'd be able to get back to 100% or at least close to where he needed to be in order to compete again. And he had a lot of fear, too, when he was being honest, saying that, he was scared. He was scared over the injury, and he didn't want to let that anger that he had over the injury turn into depression. And he also admitted that earlier on in his career, he really hid behind his size, knowing that he didn't have to do a lot, because why bother? If he's going to be on the road constantly, he might as well do the least for the most. And that's kind of what you have to do as a giant. I mean, Big Show has really gone out of his way to do a lot of things a lot of people would not. Like Andre, fucking 90% of the shit that Big Show has done in his WWE career, Andre never even came close to doing. Andre was a minimalist, to say the least. I think Big Show is also a minimalist, but is also on the road so often that he does things, again, that most giants would never do, at least people his size. So anyway, his goal originally was to live longer than Andre, and I think he's obviously already done that. But he heard the stories about how Andre died alone from Timmy White, and this was, well before the special aired, but they did that special on Andre about a year ago where Timmy White, the referee, who was a really good friend of Andre the Giant when Andre was alive, he talked about how Andre died in a hotel room alone in France. He had no one there around him. It was a really sad way for him to die. And Big Show had heard about that and said, I don't want to let that be me. I don't want that to be me. I need to keep going as much as I can. So that he knew he had to fight. He wanted to challenge himself, and he wanted to decide when his time is up. He wants to decide, hey, when I'm done with wrestling, I'm done. I don't want anyone else to tell me that. I don't want my body to tell me that. I want to be able to be the one to say that, hey, I'm done wrestling now. So he goes to the last Raw in Washington, D.C. before WrestleMania 35 in hopes of getting cleared. So we hear him talking to the doctor. He tells the doctor that he's not feeling any pain. He, bumps around the ring, does all the usual, protocol stuff. And he gets cleared. He ultimately gets cleared, very happy about it. And he says, now I just got to wait for creative. Now I just got to wait for them to tell me that, hey, this is what we're doing with you. This is when we're going to use you, blah, blah, blah. And he knows that there was a point earlier on in his career where he initially would have been angry about something like that, waiting for a creative. But now that he's older, he's wiser now. He knows, okay, this is just the calm before the storm because I'm going to be busy soon enough. So I might as well enjoy this peace and quiet while I have it. And that was on April 1st, 2019. That was the week before WrestleMania, like I said. I don't think he was not used at WrestleMania. I thought he might have been. I thought, this was honestly a perfect time for him to resurface in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 35, but he was not. He was not in the match despite being cleared days before. Maybe they already set the lineup for the match. I don't know. It was on the fucking pre-show, so who cares? But I thought that would have been a good time for him to come back, if only for a one-off. Apparently that was not in the cards. But he talks about how he's in a better place now than he's ever been in, and he's also a better performer than he's ever been. Despite the fact that he's yet to return to the ring, but he probably knows, just based off the shape that he's currently in, that he's going to be better than he's been in a long time. And that was it. They also said in a post, a little epilogue-like thing, that he's been awaiting his in-ring return, he's yet to come back, and that he has since relocated to Los Angeles this past summer for entertainment, I guess entertainment-related career stuff. I don't know, maybe doing movies, television shows, I'm not sure. And still doing stuff with the Special Olympics. So that's it. That was it for this special. Again, only about 20 minutes in length, called Rebuilding Big Show. Be sure to check it out on the WWE Network. I'm not the biggest Big Show fan. I never have been. I think you guys know that. But at the same time, after watching this 20-minute special, I want to see this guy get back in the ring. Now, granted, I don't want to see Big Show on TV every single fucking week. I don't want to see him on Raw and on SmackDown involved in any important storylines. But the guy deserves to be back on TV after seeing stuff like this. I mean, he's really passionate. He's really driven for a guy that probably should have retired a few years ago. He's still killing it on a weekly basis in terms of training and stuff like that, just to get his body back at 100%. And I respect that. So I think it was really shitty for the company to not put him in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania. I think that would have been as perfect of a time as any to bring him back. And again, I don't want to see him on TV every single week, but for what it is, I'd rather see him to come back for an occasional one-off appearance than not do anything at all, if he is cleared. But anyway, be sure to check out the special on the WWE Network. Well worth the time, only about 20 minutes. And thank you guys for checking out this video. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll be back with more Network and Chill in the days and weeks to come, obviously. New Miz and Misses on Tuesday, and that review should be up either on Friday or Saturday of this coming week. So on that note, guys, have a great rest of your week. I'm Graham Jason Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.